Good evening, SynergyPWR viewers across the world. Welcome to SynergyPWR People's World Racing, and we are here for round number 5 of season. Round number 4, sorry, of season 5. This is the Chinese Grand Prix. Looking forward to being here with you. It's Otter for this, our 100th Grand Prix season. And unfortunately missed a bit of qualifying. We did have a few technical issues, a few issues that needed to be resolved before we go streaming here tonight, here on YouTube for the first time in our history. But we move forward here to a magnificent Grand Prix ahead of us with Cookie on pole position, separated Tapter, Hoonigan. And you may notice as well Delution, however you want to pronounce it, believe it or not, was AMS Dan. He's actually left the Alien Motorsport team as of recent, and that's his new gamer tag. He starts in 4th. Then 4 were separated by only 3/10 of a second between the lot of them, which is an incredibly close battle for that progression through the standings. But we are looking forward to the race ahead. We do have Verline in 5th. We've got Lucas in 6th. And Trickster as well, the old OG of SynergyPWR. He's back, starting in 7th place for Haas in Division 1. Tom Beading starts in 8th after his second reprimand by the stewards earlier on this week. We've got M&M's and Sufyan 9th and 10th respectively. Not a good start for the Mercedes crew. Hamster starts in 11th with Tom in 12th and Shaquille in 13th. Plaz and Sonic a little bit down the order as well. Sonic actually weren't able to get a qualifying lap time at all throughout the particular session in Q2 because of track limits issues, with DC Gunner in 16th, Richie in 17th, Paul in 18th, and Bailey Dog Mong Dog 19th place for him. 19 drivers getting themselves ready for this Chinese Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to this one. It is the start of this race. The drivers are now lining up on the grid. And with the drivers lined up, we are going to be counting down the lights. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 lights. It's 5 lights, and they are a go. The drivers, here they are, and we've got Mongdog coming up from the backwards, but we've got MS Cookies had an appalling start on the Frenchman. You've got Tapper managing to lead the way straight into P1 for the Renault, with Hoonigan trying to go around the outside, and Delusion managed to get a good start. Bit of debris spitting up at the back, and we've got Hoonigan holding his own here, trying to get around that inside and have the inside potentially of a battle with Deluthan, but he's having to hold on quite well here. Tapper has had a fantastic start. He's up 1, Deluthan up 1 as well, with Hoonigan down 1. Lucas has had gained well, and we've got Beading as well doing a good job in 6th place. He's gained 2. And Sufyan getting a fantastic start in the Mercedes. He's up into 7th. We've got Sonic Super also gaining as well towards the back in 11th place as well. Bailey Dog getting some good positions, currently battling with his teammate BWR Hamster in the McLaren team at the moment, which is a very, very strong race ahead indeed. So we've got Shaquille, who's disconnected from the session. He has been reprimanded once already for his issues there. So we've got a little bit of a spinner potentially for CT5 Plus, trying to battle hard here for this Division 2 session here between these guys here. Here comes Bailey Dog down the inside, heading towards it to turn 11. This is the pretty epic corner here. If you get this one right, he's going to try and defend here, make a move here, as CT5 Plus looks like he's just going to give up the position there. He realises he's made a mistake, because we have a spinner, and it looks like the spinner of AMS Cookie has had a little bit of a spin in the Red Bull. I'm not sure. He's definitely had a half spin somewhere, because he's lost massively as a result of that one. Deluthan now up to 2nd with Hoonigan here. An intense battling happening, going though towards down turn 14-15 as Lucas on Xbox trying to battle hard here with Tom Beading, and you've got Sufyan trying to get into the mix as well. Hoonigan able to pull away from this potential battle here, as they are battling hard at the moment for this particular move. Tap to get fastest lap of the race here, as we have some more people swapping around positions here. Here comes Tom Beading straight into 5th place, trying to hold off a battle here, potentially, 7th place rather. Got the little bit of an issue with the timing screen, as you will see. There's the predicted pit stop strategy. It is a very difficult race on the tyres, medium to hards, for these drivers that they're going to have to deal with at the moment. Here comes the inside line here for Tom Beading, trying his hardest here to hold on if he can. He's battling hard here in 8th place at the moment, looking back here. You can see that how close those drivers are at the moment, as you've got people fighting for scraps of points at the moment. He's in there, slap bang in the middle. Great, the P4 for the Division 1 Alpha Tauri at the moment. A lot of questions as well from him about his position in Division 1, I think he didn't feel he had the pace to be in Division 1, but he's certainly showing it at the moment in this particular race. As we see Shaquille managing to reconnect into the session, and battle happening here with the Ferrari of Hoonigan at the moment. Some properly intense battling at the moment here as the Ferrari's getting closer and closer here to what was AMS Dan. He does have that DRS available. No DRS available, sorry, of course, at the end of this lap. It will be available. But battling hard at the moment here, the Ferrari looking to try and get some level of redemption. It's not been the best race at all from, or the best season so far from Hoonigan. He's not been able to really get his season going here. So he's looking to bounce back, and a lot of track to bounce back on as well. It's an intense track, and he'll be battling hard to try and get into the mix here. The only issue is, of course, is he has got people behind him slowly but surely going to creep up on him if he keeps battling too hard here with the Alfa Romeo. Getting closer and closer here. Yeah, well, looking on the back here of the Alfa Romeo. Able to just spit out a load of dirty air to really hinder Hoonigan's performance through these particular corners. These medium speed corners where the cars and the tyres are getting the most amount of hurt. And all of that dirty air. But as a result, it's allowing Tapenter to really start to pull a gap here in the Renault, but a lock up there from the Alfa Romeos, pushing here the Ferrari into a good position. Well, those have got more people spinning out at the moment, and I believe that is a spin out there for the Sonic Super in 13th. And the Red Bull has got into a spot of bother there. He's now dropped down to 14th place. He actually was gaining quite well throughout that race, and it's a really unfortunate situation. Cookie's trying to earn time back here, versing Lucas on Xbox. That's Division 1 Racing Point. And he's actually got fastest lap of the race as well, so he's on a real charge at the moment to burn through those medium tyres. He probably will be switching over to the hard. You wouldn't expect the two-stop to be the tyre, the strategy rather, to be on. But it is bitterly disappointing stuff at the moment, and again a half spin there from Cookie, just managing to catch it. He is struggling out there at the moment. The Red Bull really not feeling confident. Probably going to be a bit wary after that spin out. As we have a virtual safety car out on track at the moment, everyone will slow down to a crawl. And that's because Richie Evans has DNF'd. He's crashed going through turn 3-4, and it has brought the VSC out. It's also caused Shaquille to disconnect again. So interesting scenario then at the start of this particular race. We do have a very, very intense race out there at the moment. Obviously, we've got Tapter leading the way, 4 seconds separating him from the rest of the field at the moment. And obviously, you've got Cookie leading the way as well with intense pace with that fastest lap at the moment. Hoonigan also looking to try and get past the likes of AMS Dan at the moment, and it will be an intense restart here. If this can work out for Hoonigan, it would be a very, very good scenario indeed. We'll have to see what happens though, because we are now going green again here at China, and it is a very, very good opportunity here for Hoonigan, because that green light came right as he was just halfway through the corner, which means well, Dan Deluthian in the front is going to be struggling. Unfortunately for Hoonigan, it looks like he hasn't been able to get properly going in this particular session. Currently on the podium as it stands though. It would be his second podium of the season as a result. Question is, will he be able to get past and try and climb up further than third? That is the key thing here. Just have some intense battle in here. Here's Cookie, the last AMS driver in Synergy so far. Number 88 looking to try and get going. And he is trying to get past these two drivers in front. They're both Division 1 drivers, of course. They are racing for position. If you are new to Synergy, slight difference in the rules and regulations that we have here compared to normal Formula 1. The Division 1 and 2 drivers are separated but racing together on the same track. and are racing for their own individual points. So the highest placed Division 1 driver will earn 25 points and the highest placed Division 2 driver will earn 25 points. But crucially, constructors' points are only handed to those in the top 10 on track. So Division 1 and 2 have to race each other. The potential opportunity happening here for the Mercedes of Sufyan. Trying to properly close down that gap potentially here on the Alpha Tauri of Tom Beeding, who himself is going to hook it around the outside. Trying to hold on if he can. He'll have the inside then potentially if heading into turn 16. He goes around the inside, but he can't hold on. And Sufyan is in front, but crucially does not have DRS, and Beeding could make a move potentially going down into turn 1. And the Mercedes is back down to P5. Meanwhile, Cookie is just spending all the time in the world sticking behind these guys. He probably doesn't want to really do that if he knows he's faster, and he is looking for gaps here, but Sufyan closing the door. And Beeding's into the grass, and that's going to really hinder him now, and he's now into 6th place. And he may lose into 7th as he gets close here, potentially with Lucas. And he is down to 7th place as a result of that one. Put it into the grass and into the Weetabix. And he is down now to 7th place. That's unfortunate stuff for him. He's just not been able to find that consistency. He nearly actually had a potential podium on his case at Sakia last week. Is he going to now the recipient of a penalty? Battle's still happening with Hoonigan and Dan at the moment. Delucian. I'll just call him Dan from now on because it is a bit difficult to pronounce that gamer tag. Looks like he just kind of spat out a lot of alphabeti spaghetti and said, yep, that's my gamer tag. But he has got the DRS available, and he may choose here to go on a bit of a push here. Hoonigan getting closer and closer. Potential move happening into turn 14, 15 here. And he is going to go for it. He's going down that inside line to try and defend it. Shuts the door on Dan, but Dan will be able to hold back here. Lucas, 5-second penalty for corner cutting. And in fact, I think he spun the car as well. Oh, he's out of the race, actually. And that might end up bringing the safety car out because it looks like it might have been a big shunt here. We'll have to see. Will he be able to make the move before the safety car comes out? No, he can't. And Dan is a very, very lucky man, you would say. You'd have to say he's a very, very lucky man there, nearly getting into a potential overtaking opportunity, and Hoonigan now down in the position, nearly getting into a lock-up situation as well. Looks like there's a bit of an issue potentially with the delta times at the moment for these drivers. We're going to be fuming there, though. We're going green again here at the Chinese Grand Prix, and it is going to be in a very intense one here as we get back on the restart. Looks like Dan has had the better start in this particular scenario, and that is offering an opportunity here for Dan to get intense here and potentially get into a battle here, as we still have the battle happening for P4 as well at the moment between Sufyan, Tom Beeding and Trigster at the moment. Some properly intense battles happening here between these drivers here. Going back on board with Trigster here. First race back in Synergy, currently racing in the Haas. Believe it or not, would be the brother to PWR Hamster. It's Fairline now the recipient of a 3-second penalty, as is Bailey Dog as well. Started to get intense. He's crashed though as Bailey Dog. Looks like he's spun it out, and he's spun it out heading through into the session as Cookie has also disconnected from the session, as we have a potential overtaking opportunity here between Delucian and Hoonigan at the moment. And they're getting seriously close here, and Hoonigan really wants to get this move done. He doesn't want to get caught behind another VSC. Here comes the Ferrari against the Alfa Romeo, but it looks like there may be an issue when it comes to setup because he is struggling at the moment for straight line speed, but he is looking to make the move if he can. Heading down the inside of 1, 2, and then into turn 3. This left-hander, then you've got the small left-hander again. This is 3, and then that left-hander there is 4, and they're still going side by side here, battling hard, heading into turn 5, and then into 6 is the first opportunity here potentially as they squeeze us down that inside line to try and force him around the outside, but Dan has the better traction on the outside, and the Ferrari is still behind the Alfa Romeo at the moment. Some seriously intense battling here. Who says you can't race at China? This is brilliant stuff here happening between these drivers. Cookie reconnecting to the session, now down to P13 at the moment. It's not been the cleanest of races at the moment for Cookie. A couple of spin-outs now, a disconnection for him. You'd have suspected he'd have been up there potentially battling with Tapatu with the laps he was churning out, but unfortunately he's now down out of the points at the moment, and it's his Division 2 candidate at the moment, his Division 2 teammate currently scoring the points for Red Bull. after they had, would you believe, a 1-2 finish at Sakia last week, which is not bad from a Division 1 and Division 2 lineup. Hoonigan's still getting closer and closer for a potential battle here. Shaquille disconnecting again. He's struggling out there at the moment with this internet connection. Was reprimanded by the stewards last week for his internet connection after what was potentially a race-changing moment was interrupted by his internet connection. Reprimanded last week at Sakia. Here he comes again though. Hoonigan just biding his time. Plenty VRS as well here, so he's potentially getting sort of Dan into a little spot of bother here, and a little tap as well. And he's got to keep it steady. This is simulation damage here at SynergyPWR. Just want to get that one wrong. Hoonigan's still keeping it nice and tidy and steady between these drivers, and I think this is the kind of racing Hoonigan really wanted here. He wants to show that he is a consistent driver, and he is a very quick driver, and at one point I would have considered him potentially being a potential chance of the world title as well in Division 1, and I still think he's in it. He's just not been able to get the consistency going in the first couple of rounds, but there are still 16 rounds to go after this one. So plenty of opportunities to close down the gap, especially with such a mixed calendar coming up this season. Here he comes though, Hoonigan looking to get closer and closer. He's dying to go down the inside onto the grass a little bit as well. Is Hoonigan looking here as he goes down the inside, and he's certainly got the advantage going into this corner here. Switchback potentially for the Alfa Romeo. But Hoonigan's perhaps made this one stick as he returns back into the racing line, and it looks to me as if the Alfa Romeo is in a spot of bother here. He's got the DRS open, and he is struggling for ERS compared to Hoonigan at the moment. Hoonigan's not really had to use so much. And the Ferrari is now up to P2, so good effort from him. And potential opportunity here for the Mercedes of Sufyan as well, getting into a battle here with Tom Beeding down the inside here. Tom Beeding looking to try and hold on to P4 if he can. He goes around the outside, and he will have the inside of 3. On board with Tricks to see this battle brewing, and it is seriously intense stuff between these two here. Don't want to make a mistake here. Beeding made a mistake earlier, put himself in that little gravel trap there. But he's managed to work his way back up, and he's now back up to P4, but around the outside potentially here for Sufyan. Around the outside of turn 6, it's really, really close stuff here. And Sufyan has managed to make it work around the outside of 6. Great move from the Mercedes. Really, really good stuff this so far in this particular race. Looking forward to seeing the rest of this one. There's got some potential battles happening towards the back here at the moment between M&M's and PWR Tom at the moment. Keeping it in DRS territory though, crucially at the moment, as he pops it into overtake. Comes back out again. Dan looking to try and keep the pressure on Hoonigan. Hoonigan knows he's under a little bit of pressure at the moment as well. Oh, it's late on the brakes though from Dan, and I think he realises he's not really got the tyres. And the Alfa Romeo is going to start struggling here. He's going to head it now down into the final corner of turn 16. With the DRS open, but that late braking manoeuvre has obviously healed any opportunity that he might have had to make a move here into turn 1. Still potential battles brewing here as we have Tom Beeding now relegated down to P6 as Trigster now up to P5 here. Great little battle happening between these three drivers here. All Division 1 drivers crucially as well, and crucially we also have a little bit of a battle here happening with PWR Hamster at the moment. He might be 5 seconds back around everyone at the moment, so he's in a bit of a no man's land, but Hamster actually is in a good position here because he's got a very, very good tyre on that is probably not used as much, and he's in 7th place here, so he might be able to gain some traction here on that second stint, especially if a safety car comes out, which is plausible considering we've just had another yellow flag for PWR Verline down in 16th place. Shaquille reconnecting into the session. Back on board with the Haas though of Trigster. I believe it is the reveal of the Haas livery for 2021 tomorrow. Certainly looking forward to that one. Fairline has retired, and he's retired in the pit lane. So we are down to 15. But the pit window now actually opening here for the medium tyre runners. They're looking to go to the end of this race on a one-stop. Question is, are any of these drivers going to do that one? Are they going to go early? We'll have to see. Battle for the points brewing, though, at the moment between P10 and P11 at the moment, as we see DC Gunner and Plaz battling hard here. And a very good potential switchback there from DC Gunner. Planted it going through turn 16. Made that one work, didn't he? And the Renault now back up to 10th, or rather the Alpine. At least their livery a couple of days ago as well. Absolutely screamer of a livery, isn't it? The one with the blue. Fernando Alonso also releasing his helmet as well. Very reminiscent of the... I'd say a little bit reminiscent of the 2005-6 helmets that he was wearing back in the Renault days, as we see Verline's car just parked off the track. Cookie also starting to get into this mix as well for that battle for P10 at the moment. He's fighting for the scraps of the points. May end up getting into a battle with his teammates at some point as well. Himself is in a bit of no man's land at the moment. Got Shaquille in front of him, but he is disconnecting currently and having some issues with his internet connection. Brewing battle still happening between these guys currently here for a battle for P4. Trickster getting into a bit of a lock-up there. Now it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do here as regards to strategy. Where are they going to put strategy-wise? And there it is. So Suffian staying out, but Trig and Tom both coming in. Onto the brakes for those drivers, and in they go. Hard tyres potentially here. We do have Duluthien and Tapita also pitting as well. Tapita just leaving the pits now. Sonic looking to try and get into a battle here, and it could potentially be a bit of a long one here as he's trying to go down that inside. Oh my goodness me, that was close. Argument battles here. There's technical blue flags for anyone leaving the pits. They don't have priority going into a corner, but definitely close quarters here as Sonic has just managed to get in front of Dan, and that's not going to help his performance here. He looks to make the dive to try and get the move done early as they've collided. And they have collided, and he has got front wing damage, and I think Dan wanted to get that move done as early as possible. But Sonic is going to argue that he had every right to have that position. Yeah, really liking this race. We've got 14 laps to go. As soon as they come across the line, expect Hoonigan's probably going to be coming in for his pit stop now. And there he goes, number 14. Bit of an iconic number, that one, for Hoonigan. It's a shame he's not going to have it next season. Obviously being reclaimed by Fernando Alonso next season, so he'll be driving under a different number. Our final season on this platform as well for F1 2020. We'll move on to F1 2021 next season. Mercedes is Suffian also in. Here comes Tapita just coming down the pits now to overtake Hoonigan. And this is the battle we're going to be seeing here. Where is Hoonigan going to come in front of AMS Dan? Or was AMS Dan rather. Dan actually behind him by just under a second. The gap still remains around 2.5 crucially. So Hoonigan didn't have a bad in-lap there. There's a battle still brewing between these drivers. Look how tense this battle is between Trig, Suffian and Beeding at the moment. Really good stuff. Crucially, Cookie's not too far behind either in this little battle here. Popping into overtake as well as Beeding. He might go for the dive going into this corner. Chooses not to. Suffian goes on later on the brakes, but made the corner very nicely. We are down to 15 runners of the 19 that started, though, halfway through this Chinese Grand Prix, and still some intense battling happening here. And crucially, Dan also getting close here to Hoonigan. Might have had a good in-lap, but he's not had the best out-lap as Hoonigan here, as he's now under a bit of pressure here. Obviously, the hard tyre's not switching on the best here. As you can see, it is overcast conditions as well, so the hard tyre is not going to switch on very quickly. May take a lap or two to properly warm up at the moment here, as Suffian's gone very wide going through turn 12-13, and that's going to result in him not really getting anywhere near close to Trig here. Intense battle brewing in that particular department. I think it will be all race in fairness here, as we have a intense battle happening here for P10, P9. It's Hamster now up to 9th place. Still trying to battle hard here with Plaz at the moment. It looks to me as if the deal is done. Plaz is not able to hold on to that particular position. He's now down to 10th. The battle's still in the favour here of these 3 drivers at the moment. And they're all Div 1 drivers, crucially, so they are all racing for points here. Currently as it stands, Tapita, Division 1, Hoonigan, Division 1. Got Dan, Division 1, and then Sonic, Division 2. Currently in 4th place at the moment, but he does have that major front wing damage, and that's actually inviting potentially Trig into the mix here. You'll see that the wing on board with Sonic here now, how much time he's going to be gaining his Trig with that front wing damage at the moment. Sonic is just going to be losing buckets of time left, right, and centre. Granted, he is the highest plus Division 2 driver at the moment, and by quite a far margin as well. So he is in chance of winning this race here if he can hold on. If he can't, then the reins are going to get taken up, which I believe by PWR Hamster, who I did say was in prime position here. He's looking to go for the move here as Trickster, and it looks like that's going to be an easy one done and dusted here, as Sonic is now going to start hemorrhaging some horrible positions here as he loses position to Sufyan as well in just one corner, and that is what wing damage does here. I'm sure Tom Beading will be wanting to make this move stick here. Here comes Tom Beading down the inside, and there's the collision. And I'm fairly certain Sonic was not going to be happy as he's collided with AMS Cookie as well, I believe. And the 2 Red Bulls get into some real scraps here. I'm fairly certain Trickster's just gone around the outside as well of Sufyan at turn 16. What a move from the Haas as he's looking to squeeze off here potentially. Here we got an attack from Sonic Super, who's got all that front wing damage. Surely he's not going to be able to defend from this one. He's going to be in such dire straits with that front wing damage. He's not going to be able to make it work. Beading is going to be absolutely fuming with that scenario, because it looks to me as if Sonic was turning in the braking zone. I'm fairly sure the stewards will be taking a look at that one for sure. I might be wrong. Either way, Sonic getting all to that mix is inviting Hamster here for potentially a very, very good win for McLaren in Division 2. Sonic and AMS Cookie, not much battling happening there, and no love lost after what happened at Australia. Both colliding and basically eliminated from the race. And then ended up getting a 1-2 at Sakir. It's a real up and down relationship with these two. Really good stuff though. Sufyan getting into the mix though. Trying to battle hard with Trig. This of course a P4 in Division 1. P4 on track. And then he goes down the inside. It's really, really intense stuff there. But he hasn't made it work this particular time. Trickster stays in P4. And Cookie begins to breathe down their necks here. Let's take a look at the situation as regards to the tyres though. And you can see the tyres are going to be switching off for Cookie surely fairly soon here. Plaz and Shaquille getting into a little ding-dong here as well, heading through into turn 16 as Plaz is taken down to P10. Still a point. And 7 and a bit seconds behind Paul Davey at the moment, who himself is currently in a maybe potentially going to be in a scrap with Beading at the moment, who's had to commit to the 2-stop after that collision with Sonic Super. Crucially enough, that potential battle is going to start brewing soon, because Sonic is on 16-lap-old hard tyres. And if my math works out correctly, that means he still needs to actually commit to a pit stop here, even with that front wing damage. So surely this is going to fall well in the favour here of PWR Hamster, who is going to be 5 seconds in front of Big Daddy Shaquille, who was the second place Division 2 driver. And as soon as Sonic pits, Plaz could be in a position for a podium in Division 2 tonight. Real mixed bag tonight. Some big points that for Racing Point Aston Martin though. Here comes potentially a move from Sufyan, chooses not to. Sure, Cookie will not be happy with Sufyan again. We have a situation where someone coming into the corner and returning back to the racing line a little bit too late, you'd suspect. Mercedes releasing their livery today as well. In fact, I think it was yesterday actually, wasn't it, that they released it? Safe to say, not the nicest of liveries. Heading through turn 3 and 4. 10 laps to go in this particular race, and we still have this battle brewing. Sonic Super now entering the pits, change of medium tyres, and also a change of front wing for him. That means PWR Hamster now leads the race in Division 2. Shaquille 5 seconds back and losing time as well, so looking very sharp at the moment for the McLaren. Plaz currently in 3rd, Paul currently in 4th. I'm fairly certain he's going to be happy about that one. On board with Suffian at the moment as we see that battle starting to get edging closer and closer. He's looking to make a move potentially on Trickster. Here he goes down that inside line, trying to hold on to turn 14-15. Trig has no answer for it though. Suffian now up, however DRS now available for the Haas driver. Oh, he's gone wide though, as Trig has been struggling with that, gone wide a couple of times throughout this race, and now he's potentially put himself in danger territory here for the attack of the Season 2 World Champion. In the end, he keeps it quiet and steady. Cookie now on 11 lap old hard tyres. He's going to have to start maintaining those tyres soon. They are not going to be at their healthiest, that's for sure. But he is popping into overtake, so he might be looking for potential move, potentially heading through into turn 5, turn 6. He is going to go for the dive down the inside, and he's going to definitely cut the corner there, though. And a slight little bit of a touch, and nearly causing 2 spats of oversteer straight off. And he is now going to hold on to P6 at the moment. Trickster just holding on to P5. The top 3 currently looking like this at the moment. Tapita is leading the way in P1 and actually losing a bucket of time here at the moment to Hoonigan. I'm not sure exactly why, but Hoonigan potentially on for a victory here as Tapita's actually lost a lot of time under this hard stint. No visible damage at the moment. We are top 3 in Division 1 is Tapita, Hoonigan, and then Dan in P3, otherwise known as Deluthian, Deluchen, Cthulhu, Sega, I don't know, however you want to pronounce it. Your Division 2 lineup at the moment for the top steps. Currently, as it stands, very, very strong race at the moment for Hamster, who's holding a 5-second gap at the moment to Shaquille. And then it is currently Paul Davey in 3rd place at the moment, but he is battling at the moment with Sonic Super, currently in 11th and 4th, respectively. Trickster, 3-second time penalty. That's going to be crucial for that battle at the moment in P4 at the moment, so he'll have to get a shift on. But he is currently under attack at the moment from AMS Cookie. Himself actually is getting really, really into this embroiled attack here, but not able to get close enough, and I suspect that's because his tyres are not at their best at the moment. No penalties to be aware of though in the top 4. And specifically in this battle for the top 3 at the moment, as Tapita is really not feeling these hard tyres at the moment. Dan's not taking the best line going through turn 8 and 9. We are heading into turn 10 though. But again, there's just a little bit of a vibe here that this is becoming a bit of a DRS train here for the win of this race. But crucially, if Tapita's making mistakes and he's losing time as a result, he will be prone to potential penalties, and that might spin this entire victory on its head. The Season 4 World Champion versus a potential World Champion versus the Season 3 World Champion, all battling really hard at the moment. The question is who is going to be the person that makes the first mistake? He's a very nice lad, but on paper you'd say it'd be Hoonigan. He has made mistakes throughout this season. He's the most inconsistent driver you would suspect, but he is by far the most consistent at the moment as Trickster and Cookie get into a battle here. And Cookie's gone around that outside. He's going to try and hold on into turn 16. Very well taken. And Trig does have the DRS available. Cookie's trying to hold on to the inside line. He's not using overtake though, crucially, so the Hasselhoff driver's using pure bravery to get this move done if he can. And he's just not able to get the traction, and perhaps a little burst of energy with overtake might have helped. He's not going to make that one work. He's down to 6th. Attack still happening here as Hoonigan getting closer and closer for a potential attack here on Tapiter. And you're certainly going to say here Tapiter's in some real trouble here. They've both got around about the same ERS as well, crucially. And the Alpine Renault is going to be in a spot of bother here if he keeps making mistakes. Number 60. Paul Davey now in the pits, changing onto a set of soft tyres to the end of this race. The potential attack happening here. Here comes Hoonigan 403 in the Ferrari, looking fairly strong. He now leads this race. Pops it right back in front of Tapiter, but lock up as well. Question is Hoonigan going to be able to then take the lead and then lead an entire lap here? Tapiter is not enjoying these hard tyres at all at the moment. He is into overtake and he is trying to use DRS to be able to get closer here, but Hoonigan has had a fantastic final corner on lap 21 and he is able to then hold on to the lead of this race, and now he leads the Grand Prix. He leads the Grand Prix on track and he leads the Grand Prix in Division 1 tonight. Leading the Grand Prix in Division 2 at the moment is still Hamster in P7 at the moment. Shaquille is 8th. He is 2nd place. And then Sonic Super is currently in 3rd place at the moment. And with that front wing damage, you'd have to say that that win was on the cards for Sonic. After that collision with Dan, currently in P3 at the moment. And an 11-second gap to Sufjan at the moment as well. So even if it is deemed, the stewards do deem that Dan was at fault, you'd suspect the penalty might not even be harsh enough. It is a dire situation at the moment here. Hoonigan looking to try and defend this one. He has got a gap there. In fairness to him, he's got the gap. Tapiter going to go for the move. He's not, but he is keeping it steady. A bit of a lock-up from Dan as well, so he's not really feeling the pressure to look for any kind of moves here, but Hoonigan certainly is going to be under pressure as they go through turn 16 to start the 23rd lap. And that 23rd round around the circuit. But again, it just looks to me as if the move is just not going to be applicable into turn 1 if you're over, a quarter of a second. It's really hard to stay within a quarter of a second when you've got tyres that are slowly shredding away, and when you've got the amount of dirty air that you've got. Hard tyres now coming to the end of their life for Cookie, and that's inviting Trickster back into the mix here. Cookie did get re-overtaken by a lot of drives after a few mistakes, but he's managed to get himself back into 5th place at the moment, which is a really good effort, considering he spun out once and disconnected another. Crucially, a very intense battle in front of us here. Hoonigan still leading this race at the moment. It's all about keeping you cool and keeping you steady here. The South African driver will be looking to really get up there and racing hard here. Some seriously impressive racing. Really good stuff here. Dan just trying to get into the mix here. Lap 24 of 28 in this race. About still brewing hard here. Hamster pulling out his gap here now to Shaquille. Plaz with a 3-second penalty. That's the battle for P11 at the moment alongside Gunnar, but he has penalties himself. Of course, crucially, worth making note, in that battle at the front, all three are world champions. Tapter did win Season 4 last season, and very, very intense season it was as well. Obviously, all of the situations occurring across the world. SynergyPWR resulted to racing behind closed doors ourselves. Back for Season 5 for our 100th Grand Prix season. Tapter winning that 4th season. 3rd season crown goes to this guy we're on board with right now. Deluthien or Dan. And of course, Hoonigan winning the Division 2 World Championship. Way back when? Season 3, I believe it was as well. Or it may have been Season 2. God, it's been a while since then. I believe he won it Season 2 it was actually with Cookie when he won his Division 1 World Championship in Season 2. Whoa, there we go. The irony of Windows 10 coming up with "I'll keep things quiet while you're in full screen mode." Appearing live. No, jokes aside though, we're going to be approaching the final few laps here. And Hoonigan has a golden opportunity here to try and defend here, because look who's in front of him. We've got some lapped cars in front, and if he's within a second, he's going to get a lovely DRS train off these guys. That guy is P15 M&M's at the moment, who's got blue flags. He has been weaving on the track to say, I'm going to give you the positions up. And that's exactly what he's done. Tapter not able to get anywhere near Hoonigan at the moment for a potential overtake, and I think he knows he's feeling the pressure a little bit, is Hoonigan. Gap, Hamster and Shaquille is closing, 4.4 seconds separating the two of them, and crucially still no penalties between them. The top three at the moment in both divisions, Hoonigan, Tapter and Dan, currently in the 1st, 2nd and 3rd places spots at the moment on the grid in this line of cars at the moment. The top three at the moment in Division 2, Hamster, Shaquille and Sonic Super at the moment. Plaz in a very good 4th at the moment. Rest of the field though, 4th place and 5th place at the moment in Division 1 for Sufjan and Cookie. 6th place for Trig. Currently 7th place at the moment for Tom Beading. It's the last of the Division 1 drivers in Division 2. It's his 4th place for Plaz. 5th place for Gunnar, 6th place for Paul. And then 7th for Tom and 8th for M&M's, as Tom has just been overtaken, would you believe, by his teammate. He's actually given him a lovely dose of DRS going down that corner, and that is only going to help certify a potential victory here for the number 14. He's been looking so hard for this one. And all that hard work he's been putting into this season is finally going to pay off for the South African if he keeps going at it. We're on the penultimate lap here of the Chinese Grand Prix. He needed this one. This is one of the hardest circuits that you can really get used to, on the calendar especially. But the South African is going to act like Jody Scheckter, and he's going to win it. If he can hold on though, that's the crucial bit. Going to be really intense. You can see that rear end is properly stepping out now on these older hard tyres, but crucially Hoonigan is on 1 lap younger. It might not seem like a lot, but when you're at a Chinese Grand Prix, those tyres are burning away quickly. 1 lap could really make or break one's race ahead. next week for those interested, by the way, Azerbaijan. It'll be a very, very interesting race. We are looking into which way we're going to do it, whether we go through Twitch or whether we continue on YouTube. I'd love to know your feedback. I'm sure there'll be posts all over Twitter. Just keep an eye on it at Synergy_PWR. Tapter looking for a little bit of a gap. He's not going to find it though. It's the final douse of pressure as they come through turn 16, and we start our final lap around here at the Chinese Grand Prix, and here we go. It's going to be an interesting one. Hoonigan is going to be battling hard here to try and stay in front of Tapter. He just has to try and have a good lap and keep Tapter behind, and he will have all of that fresh, clean air to try and hold on, whereas Tapter is going to be struggling. Heading through into 6. 10 corners to go. And look at these three have been absolutely on fire as well. They've actually pulled a 14-second gap to 4th place Sufyan, who himself at the moment is potentially getting into a battle here with AMS Cookie, who's managed to do a very good job to hold on 20-lap-old hards. Remember, sim damage means easy punctures here, and Hoonigan has had an absolute blinder of a final lap here. He's nearly pulled a second on Tapter. He will have DRS, but surely that gap is going to be too large for Tapter to get anywhere near Hoonigan here. And he knows he's done all the hard work here. Now it's relatively easy corners from going here, and the South African driver will be pushing hard to try and keep pushing on. He heads into the final few corners, turn number 14 into 15, and Hoonigan has been able to get the redemption that he really wants. He's not been able to get a clean race all season. He wins the Chinese Grand Prix, and it will be Tapter who comes across the line in 2nd place, and it will be Duluthian Dan, AMS Dan, PWR Dan, however you want to call him, who finishes in 3rd place. Sufyan finishes in 4th place after an absolutely monumental final lap. It was Trickster looking to it, but he takes 4th place in the end, and it will be Cookie who finishes in 5th, but he'll cross the line in 5th place but finish in 6th place as a result of the penalty that Trickster had, or rather what Cookie had. But this man here is going to be very happy indeed. The McLaren of PWR Hamster puts it into the grass. Don't bottle it now, mate. Hamster wins in Division 2 for McLaren. A good solid 25 points indeed. And it'll be Shaquille who finishes Racing Point. A good solid points, 18 for him. And it'll be 7th place in the end for Tom Beading. No difference in position there because Shaquille is a Division 2 driver, but they will lose a couple of points in the Constructors. Sonic Super finishes in 3rd place in Division 2, and you know what, considering he's been, I think that's a 3rd stop for him now on the soft tyre, I think he'll be happy with that performance. He comes across the line in 10th place. He gets a point for Red Bull, but it will be 15 points for him on track. And 12 points for Plaz. What an effort it is from the Williams. He'll be happy with that one. No points for Williams, the Constructors, though. And 10 points coming his way for Gunner. Getting into a real intense battle, potentially one more lap, and I'm sure Paul would have been taking that one. But what an absolute monstrous race it was in the end between these drivers. Very close, intense battle. Shaquille getting driver of the day. Absolutely fantastic race it was, though. We'll go ahead to the podium ceremony. Really enjoyed that one in the end. We do have a fantastic finish in the end in this particular race, and it will be top step of the podium for 3 Division 1 drivers in the end, and it will be the South African driver who joins Jody Scheckter as one of the drivers in the top step of any kind of league. He wins Hoonigan the Grand Prix of China, and this may be the start of something very special indeed for an intense battle in Division 1. Tapter, the Frenchman, Season 4 World Champion, finishes in P2. We'll be happy with that one, but I think he'll be a bit disappointed with his hard tyre performance. And 3rd place in the end going to Dan, freshly named and freshly rebranded as well after taking a leave at Alien Motorsport. Take a look at those final steps though, and final performances, positions on the grid, and it will be Sufyan who finishes in 4th place in the end for Division 1. Trickster finishes in 5th for Division 1, and Cookie 6th for Division 1. And then we go to Division 2. Hamster 7th place, and a good 6 points in the end for McLaren, but 25 for him for the win in Division 2. You've got Beeding finishing in a respectable 7th place considering the collisions that happened, and of course you've got Shaquille in 9th place on track, but 2nd place in the end for Division 2, and then 10th Sonic Super finishes with a point for Red Bull, but a solid 15 points in Division 2. That's it. We are off our way now on the plains to Azerbaijan for the next Grand Prix at the Baku International Street Circuit. I'm looking forward for you to be there alongside us, whichever platform we're on, Twitch or YouTube. I'm looking forward for you guys to be there. Thank you very much to every single one of you tuning in for this amazing race at the Sakir Circuit, rather the Shanghai Circuit. I'll get there in the end. Sakira last week. I'm looking forward for all of you there. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye for now.